The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to today's episode of the Mayors and Supervisors Update. That's right. Each week, we give you the goings-on around the towns and villages that we cover at the Sentinel. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of that newspaper, the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. And each week, we bring folks like that you see right now. Let's start off with Jerry in the town of Rush. Jerry, how's Rush doing?
Rush is doing just fine. Even though we have a little rain in the forecast, we are still the best kept secret in Western New York, and I intend to keep it that way. Getting into some seasonal stuff, the brush pickup has been completed by the town. It's nice to go by and not see all the big piles of brush on the side of the road. And it's also nice to know that people had a destination for that brush that they cut out from their unwanted bushes and shrubs on their property. Also, if you drive through Rush, you may notice some pretty, well, I'll call them pretty flowers around the town hall campus and in the Memorial Park and in the entrance signs to the town of Rush. We have a very committed group of volunteers who, for the past 3 years, have done their thing with planting those flowers. And it really is an upgrade for the town. And I really appreciate all of the people who participate in that. Memorial Day, we unfortunately will not have a parade for Memorial Day. We will have a ceremony paying tribute to those who serve and served at the Veterans Memorial, which is right next to the falls in the hamlet of Rush. We will have a contingent of veterans there from the Connor Stevens post and the other post over in Henrietta. I can't think of that, sorry. But there will be a number of those veterans who participate. On Wednesday of this week, I know that you probably don't want to hear more about water, but we did send out the latest survey to people in Rush who are in need of water. And I hope that when we get that back, we can start thinking about where water could be placed. And we've got our engineer firm, MRB, working on that. So I hope that all impacted residents will send those surveys back. The library roof, I haven't talked about that for a while. It continues to be a problem because we spent a lot of money to try to get it fixed, and it still leaks. The roof doesn't leak. The problem comes from internal moisture generated by the differences of temperature between the outside and several different layers of the roof. Yes, I said several different layers. There's 3 layers of roof in some sections, and it doesn't help dissipate the moisture. The moisture just forms and drips, and well, from there on, it's a problem. That's been with us for 15 years, and I hope to be able to do something about it within the next year. Unfortunately, you've got to wait for a snowfall to see if your fix worked. So if any of you know an ice company who'd like to come and coat the roof, maybe we could tell from that. One other thing I wanted to mention is that the county is looking into changing how we take care of animal control, specifically dogs in our towns. And a town like Rush, I feel bad when I go to those meetings because we don't have much of a cost associated with dog control at all in terms of the salary we pay the dog control officer, or in terms of boarding confiscated animals. And I hear other towns talk about, oh my God, it's a huge budget item. So I don't know where that's going to go, but we might, people will hear about eventually, I think, about a county managed dog control program, and we might not join that because it might not be financially feasible to do that. But in any event, we will continue to control dogs on the loose, and that's all I have.
All right. Thanks, Jerry. John, how about the town of Mendon?
Hi, Chris. Thanks for having me. I was absent last week. Was out in California for a family wedding, and all I can say is that I like even though our gas prices are high, I still like our pricing better than what they're paying in California. And I also like our traffic situation better than what I saw in California. It's a little different out there on that side of the country. I did want to remind everybody about Memorial Day. I had something last week prepared for the Sentinel with the dates and times. Certainly you can check the town's website or our Facebook page for the particulars. Splash Park, we're having a special meeting on Tuesday, the 31st, 7 o'clock at the community center to review the bids. This is the second time we've gone out for bid. I am pleased with the results of these bids, and I will expect the town board will approve a bid. Basically, because we've been held up with some of these types of things like not receiving a bid, and of course the supply chain that we hear about day after day. We're probably not going to have it open this year. We're definitely moving forward with the project, but I don't want anybody to think that it's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. Brush pickup in the town of Mendon is over. They're moving on to road work. They have the highway department's been working on various things around town, putting up flowers in the hamlet, like our other neighboring municipalities have been. Our hanging baskets at town hall with flowers in them, and Monroe County in bloom. Want to thank the county for providing flowers for our community center and other locations around town. Men in Carnival's coming up. That's June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. The parade is on the 4th, 6 o'clock in the hamlet. That is the Mendon Fire Department's parade. And we certainly appreciate the fact that they have the parade and carnival, and encourage everyone to get out to that, as well as our upcoming Memorial Day parade. I did want to talk a little bit about the equalization rate. So we have seen the equalization rate in the town of Mendon decrease dramatically this year. So our rate went from 93% to 78%. And the way that is figured is the state figures that based on assessed value versus what houses have sold for. So when you see houses sell for way over asking price, or they get into a bidding situation, that is the end result, is that the equalization rate is decreased. So if you get the basic star, which is $30,000 towards your school tax, and that $30,000 comes off your assessment, that will be reduced because you'll only get 78% of that $30,000. The same thing if you're on the enhanced star also applies. If you have questions about the STAR program or the enhanced STAR, fairly complicated. You can go online and read about it, or certainly call our assessment office. We'd be more than happy to provide any information to you. The one thing that cures the equalization rate going up to 100% is a reassessment. And, you know, that's something nobody really likes to do, but also it's something that everybody needs to keep in mind. I know if Mike Falk was here, he could probably talk about that a little more in detail, because I know Lima has recently done one. Town of Mendon did one in 2017. So you can see over the last 5 years, we've gone all the way from 100% we were after the 2017 reassessment down to 78%. And it's great because our homes are worth more. The value, when if someone's selling their house, they're going to get probably a pretty good price for it. However, it is going to affect everyone's equalization rate when their school taxes come out in September. So I wish I had better news about something like that, but we got to live with the consequences. Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks, John. Next, we have Todd Campbell, supervisor of West Bloomfield, sent the following in regarding their discussion recently on the gas tax. So it was discussed by both the GOI and Ways and Means at the last cycle, and that the committee, at that point, the committees did not feel comfortable making a decision on such short notice without more detailed information to make the June 1st implementation deadline. So they're not going to do anything with taxes, gas tax in Ontario County on the June 1st deadline that other counties are doing. This is, by the way, the sales tax that have to do with gasoline when you buy gasoline. So you're not going to see that change in Ontario County on June 1st. You will see the state change because the state is all over. Maybe Rick could explain a little bit more when he's up. But furthermore, this is what Todd Campbell said. I indicated that committees had directed staff to go back and undertake a detailed analysis for the committees and the Board of Supervisors to review later this summer for a potential implementation date of September 1st, which is the start of the next sales tax quarter. When asked if I thought the Board of Supervisors would consider extending the suspension past December 31st if implemented on September 1st, I said I didn't know, but thought the board would want to reevaluate the effectiveness of any action should they choose to take it to ensure that savings were indeed being passed along to consumers, as it is a major concern that the suspension of the gas tax would not be passed along to consumers at the pump. That's what Todd said from West Bloomfield. With that, let's go over to Rick. Rick, what's going on in Monroe County and Honeoye Falls?
Well, thanks, Chris. It's great to see everybody. Yeah, I think Ontario County, I'll focus on that because you just brought it up. I think they're looking at it as they need to. It's a lot to take in and make decisions on in a short order. I think in Monroe County, I think we had a little bit longer to look at things initially. To your point, everyone will see the state reduction in the pricing or in the taxing as of June 1st. In Monroe County, we did pass it. So I think if I remember correctly, the number is going to equal about 24 cents per gallon between the state and the county tax lowering, if you will. And again, it is for a 6-month period. So that's going to start June 1st, goes through December, and then the county and state will have to make their decision on if they're going to extend that or not. So, it's a lot to look at. Even that is somewhat controversial when, some of the facts and figures show that, there's a lot of people I would say in the city area and in communities that have more walkability by, for all of their businesses, et cetera. There are some people that don't drive. So they're not going to really see much of a break. There are those who don't drive that much. But again, I think the county and the state is doing what it can to try to ease the pain a little bit. So we'll see where it goes. As far as the village goes, a couple things I wanted to bring up. Plans have started for what seems to be becoming the annual Honeoye Falls-Lima Senior Parade. That's centered around the graduation time period. Over the last couple of years, this new tradition has started and has gone over very well. This year, the current plans are to conduct, as I understand it, the current plans are to conduct the parade on Saturday, June 25th. The parade will be beginning at around 1 p.m. and the route will go from the Village Square Boulevard area back to the Honeoye Falls-Lima Manor School parking lot, which is a little bit different. Over the last couple of years, they've ended up at the Fireman's Field on Monroe Street, but that field is already being used that day. It's already leased out, if you will. So they opted to go a little bit different route. They'll end up at the Manor School. This parade is centered around the graduating seniors and their families, and thus the coordinators, again, as I understand it, will not be having outside attendees or business and service groups or political entries in this parade. It's really going to be for the seniors and their families. So, we look forward to celebrating our HFL graduating seniors and their families, and it's always a fun day. But it's important to understand that the village will be interrupted for a good hour or so on that day. We'll have to shut down the four corners, shut down a couple of the roads, and allow that, just like all of our other parades, right? But it's going to be an hour or so that people are going to have to understand that they won't be able to drive through the village. As John and Jerry already mentioned, Memorial Day is soon upon us, where you look forward to our residents being out and enjoying Memorial Day with us tomorrow. We hope all of our residents will take some time out of their day and holiday weekend to reflect, to thank, and to honor those who have served and perished in times of conflict in support of our great nation. And we thank our veterans, and specifically that at this time, and all those individuals and their families that have sacrificed so much, and we appreciate that. Also, as Jerry and John talked about, from a brush standpoint, the village DPW team is actively picking up brush here in the village. Because of the village setting, we are picking up brush each and every week right through the summer months. But I wanted to remind people, we do not pick up grass clippings. Should you wish to dispose of grass clippings, you may bring them to the DPW facility on Ulrich Lane and follow the signage down to the composting area. Grass clippings need to be dropped off in either biodegradable paper bags, or if you bring them down in plastic, you've got to dump them out of the plastic bags and put them into the pile. And then as a reminder, if you have shrub trimmings, tree branches, and the like, please remember that those need to be cut down to lengths no longer than 6 foot in length, and the branches should not be thicker than 6 inches in diameter. Also, items should be bundled as best as possible for the ease of the pickup. And then lastly, the village does have a program along with our rubbish, I should say. We do have a program in the village for a DPW village DPW truck to be left at your residence overnight. She'd be taking down a large portion of shrubs or tree trimmings, and instead of hauling it all the way out to the front of your house, if you'd like to put it directly into a DPW truck, you can ask for that. There is a request on our website, www.villageofhoneoyefalls.org, where our village residents can ask for a truck to be dropped off. We'll drop it off at the end of the night or over a weekend. You can load up all your shrubs and tree trimmings and all that stuff in there, and then we'll pick it up on Monday or the next morning and take it out for you. So saves us a little bit of time in the pickup, and it also helps our residents to get their yard cleaned up faster and just get it, even out from in front of the yard. So with that, I'll say thank you again. We hope everybody has a safe, relaxing, and enjoyable and thoughtful Memorial Day holiday and weekend. And again, thank you to all those who have served.
Thanks, Rick. So that last thing about the brush trucks, you almost invented a new word, shrubbish.
Shrubbish, yeah.
Rubbish. All right. Anybody else have anything that they want to add that they may have forgotten?
I feel compelled to let you know about our experience with the reval. We did that last year. It created a lot of angst among people in town, but that got settled down. We were at 78%. We went up to 100%. And here's the bad news. Just since that project was completed, we have dropped back to 96%. And it's all due to sales in that period of time. So it's pretty frustrating if you think about it, because people associate a reassessment with an increase in their taxes, and that doesn't always work that way.
Right.
I'd like to add too, Jerry, and maybe you can speak of this too, is that when for the smaller towns like Brush, like Mendon, we don't have the staff to do a reassessment. We have to hire an outside group. And once we hire an outside group, which can run into the many thousands of dollars, that cost is fronted by the town and the town's taxpayers. So it's, net, the town doesn't, it's not a windfall, especially for the towns that have to have an outside group come in and do a reassessment. And that's one of the reasons why you go downstate, and there's municipalities downstate that haven't reassessed in 25 years, and they have an equalization rate of 50%.
Oh, yes.
Hey,
All
Jerry,
right.
I did want to ask you another subject though, but Jerry, I didn't catch, what time is your gathering for Memorial Day in Rush?
I'm sorry, our Memorial Day ceremony will be at the Memorial Park next to the waterfall, and it will start at 11:45 a.m.
All right. All set? Thank you all.
All have a great weekend. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks everybody for watching. Remember, we're here every Sunday at 1 o'clock. Like us on our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and when we're broadcast, then you'll get notifications so you can watch this. Everybody have a great Memorial Day weekend, and be respectful on Monday. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.